Hey crafty friends, it's Elizabeth from BBsButterfly, and this is another episode of Tuesday Tidbits. So many of you have seen my recycled or DIY finger daubers or sponge daubers, and I've actually changed from that because I've discovered that the makeup sponges that you use for those little finger daubers, they really just kind of fall apart. They flake off. You get pieces of the little sponge everywhere. So I've gone to another method. And what I have done is I have taken, instead of purchasing the foam sponges or the ink blending tool from Ranger, since I unmounted all of my wood stamps, I had a bunch of these blocks left over. So what I did is I took some industrial strength Velcro, stuck on the wood block, and then I cut up a big piece of fun foam that I got at Walmart or the Dollar Tree, and I just put it, basically about the size of the wood block, and I stuck a piece of the industrial strength Velcro, the fuzzy side, on the little piece of fun foam, and it makes the perfect ink blending tool. So I have a bunch of them, and the great thing is they're very thin. If I can get that to focus a little bit. They're very thin, so you can stick them on to the bottom of your ink pads. And it's just a great way to save some money and have a really awesome ink blending tool. And I wish I could remember, I should have written the name of the ink on here, but this one looks like maybe it's walnut stain because it's dark. So what I'm going to do is just take a piece of, it's just a scrap piece of watercolor paper, and if I get out my walnut stain, what's great about this, using this instead, is you get a much darker blend. I guess watercolor paper probably wasn't the best because it's not very smooth, but it's easier to get a darker edge whenever you're blending. And, you always want to start from the edge so that you don't have those harsh lines, but this is just much easier than felt or the sponge daubers. And I've used this one a whole lot, and I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but you can see it's really soaked with ink. The more you use it, the more ink you get into the fun foam, but it doesn't leak through to the other side, and it doesn't like flake off. It's not like the sponge that comes apart. So there's that. I'm actually going to grab a piece of scratch paper, maybe, if I can find one. That's all. Looks like that's all watercolor paper. This is a thinner one, thinner watercolor paper. I've been playing with my mermaid markers, so but you can see you get a much better blend. Let me zoom in just a hair. I say just a hair. But it's just a much smoother blend with the fun foam. Focus. Anyway, I know it's not pretty. I use this thing all the time. It's full inky. This was an old American art stamp. There you go. That's what it was. Anyway, I just use this block instead. And when I'm finished, I put the lid on. I take that bad boy off, slap it on the back, and stick the stamp pad back in my basket. So there you go. Ink blending tool. I'm replacing my finger daubers or my sponge daubers with this. And when your little blending tool gets icky, gross, and you're tired of it, or it does eventually fall apart, you can just toss it and you have another square. Like I said, I used industrial strength Velcro. I stuck the rough end on the block and the fuzzy side on the piece of fun foam. All right, if there's something else you want to see, something you want to know, just send me a message or post a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again on another episode of Tuesday Tidbits. Bye.